The late-night air hangs thick with the anticipation of something unspeakable, almost electric. Lena's hands grip the steering wheel as she scans the familiar street outside her ex's place. Her pulse thunders in her ears, blending with the low hum of her car engine. She wasn't supposed to be here, not after everything. But here she is, her mind a tangle of anger, betrayal, and dark intentions. Adam, the man she thought was her forever, her safe place, her one true love. Just weeks ago, they were planning a future together, filled with dreams of adventure and kids. But it was all a lie, a bitter, twisted illusion shattered by the messages she found on his phone. Not just one woman, but two. Two women who knew about each other, and Lena was the oblivious one. The humiliation stung like a fresh wound, but Lena never cried. She burned. The betrayal carved a place inside her that she couldn't ignore. And that's why she's here, heart racing, mind sharp as steel. She's no victim. Tonight, she's the storm Adam and his lovers never saw coming. "Let's see how it feels," she mutters, a smirk playing on her lips as she steps out of the car. The plan has been brewing for weeks, each piece fitting together like a twisted puzzle. Lena spent hours finding out everything she could about Mia and Crystal, the two women Adam had been seeing behind her back. She couldn't confront Adam outright. No, that would have been too simple. Lena wanted to hit where it hurt, to make sure he felt every ounce of the betrayal she endured. Tonight, it begins with Mia. She's the more naive of the two, a bartender who Adam met at a friend's party. Mia had no idea that Lena existed at first. Adam had spun a tale about being stuck in a complicated relationship with a woman who didn't understand him. The moment Lena heard that, it felt like a knife twisting in her chest. But that pain is fuel now, pushing her forward. As she walks into the dimly lit bar, she spots Mia nursing a drink, her face lit by the glow of her phone. Lena approaches, her lips curled in a knowing smile. Mia glances up and freezes, recognition flashing across her face. She knows who Lena is, and Lena can see the fear creeping in, the uncertainty. "Perfect. Mind if I sit?" Lena says, not waiting for an answer as she slips onto the stool beside her. Mia swallows, trying to keep her composure. "Lena, I didn't know you'd be here." "Didn't think I would either," Lena replies, her tone cold but controlled. She leans in, her voice dropping low. "But since we both know Adam, I thought it was time we had a little chat." Mia's face pales, and for a split second, Lena feels a glimmer of satisfaction. She's ready to play her part in this twisted game. Mia shifts uncomfortably, her gaze flickering to her drink as though it might offer some sort of escape. Lena notices the nervous twitch in Mia's fingers, the way her eyes dart to the door and back. Good. This isn't going to be easy for her, and that's precisely what Lena wants. "You don't have to be scared of me, Mia," Lena says, keeping her tone steady but laced with just enough edge. "I'm not here to make a scene or throw a drink in your face. But I thought you'd want to know the truth." "The truth?" Mia's voice is barely a whisper, her eyes wide as she glances around, clearly hoping no one is listening. "Yes, Mia, the truth." Lena leans in even closer, dropping her voice to a conspiratorial tone. "Adam isn't who he says he is, and you're not the only one he's lied to." Mia's eyes widen further, her brows knitting together as realization dawns. She shifts uncomfortably in her seat, her voice barely a murmur. "There's someone else?" Lena suppresses a bitter laugh. "You could say that. Adam has quite a collection, it seems. And to think, I was just the fool at home, waiting for him, while he was out spinning stories for you and Crystal." The name hits its mark. Mia's lips part, a hint of recognition, of betrayal. It's clear she thought she was special, that somehow Adam's deceit had made her his one and only. Lena almost pities her. Almost. "You thought you knew him," Lena says, reading Mia's stunned silence. "I thought I did too. But here we are. Both of us betrayed, both of us fooled. And here I am, trying to give you a little reality check. Something I wish someone had done for me." Mia opens her mouth to respond, but nothing comes out. Her face is flushed, a storm of emotions flashing across her features. Lena gives a small, cold smile. "Maybe I'll see you around." Don't be a stranger, she says, sliding off the stool. She gives Mia one last lingering look, the kind that promises this isn't over. One down, one to go. As Lena leaves the bar, the cool night air hits her face, a sharp contrast to the heated exchange she just left behind. She takes a deep breath, steadying herself. She hadn't realized how satisfying it would be to watch the shock dawn on Mia's face, to see the betrayal hit her just as hard. But she doesn't let herself revel in it too long. She has more work to do. The next target is Crystal. Compared to Mia, Crystal is sharp, confident, even a bit cocky, or so Lena's research suggests. She's a fitness trainer at a trendy gym downtown and isn't one to shy away from flaunting her relationship with Adam. Lena had come across Crystal's social media, scrolling through post after post of her and Adam together, each picture a knife twist. It's clear that, unlike Mia, Crystal had always known about Lena. In fact, she seemed to take pleasure in it. Lena's stomach tightens as she approaches the gym. Through the floor-to-ceiling glass windows, she sees Crystal leading a class. She watches her for a moment, feeling the anger rise again. This woman had strutted into Lena's life like she owned a piece of it, laughing and posing with the man who'd promised Lena forever. When the class ends, Lena waits by the entrance, her heart pounding. It doesn't take long for Crystal to come out, wiping her face with a towel, her athletic bag slung over her shoulder. She freezes when she sees Lena, but only for a moment. Her expression shifts to one of recognition mixed with defiance, a slight smirk playing on her lips. Well, Crystal says, her voice dripping with sarcasm. If it isn't the little wife. Lena clenches her fists, but she keeps her voice steady. I thought it was time we met properly, Crystal. Crystal raises an eyebrow, crossing her arms. Really? And what exactly do you want from me? I want you to know that your little game with Adam is over, Lena replies, her tone cold. I know everything. The lies, the manipulation. I know he played all of us, but you're not getting away with it this time. Crystal chuckles, rolling her eyes. Please. Adam is his own man. If he chose me over you, maybe you should take that as a sign. Lena feels the rage simmering beneath her skin, but she forces herself to stay calm. She takes a step closer, her voice dropping to a low, controlled tone. Don't flatter yourself, Crystal. You were just another pawn in his game. But let's see how smug you are when the truth about your little romance goes public. The smirk fades from Crystal's face, replaced by a flicker of doubt. Lena turns on her heel, leaving Crystal standing there, the weight of her words sinking in. The drive back home is filled with a mix of emotions, satisfaction, anger, and a strange sense of relief. Lena hadn't realized how much she needed to confront Mia and Crystal, to strip away the illusion that Adam had spun around each of them. But the truth is, her work isn't done. Not until Adam himself feels the full force of her wrath. She pulls into her driveway, her mind racing through her next steps. Adam still doesn't know that she's aware of his double life. Lena's kept up the act, playing the part of the doting girlfriend, pretending that everything is fine. And tonight, she plans to take things a step further, setting a trap so twisted that even Adam won't see it coming. She checks the time on her phone. Adam should be getting home any minute now. Perfect timing. Inside, she busies herself with setting the scene. She lights a few candles, dims the lights, and sets out a bottle of wine. Every detail is designed to make Adam feel comfortable, to disarm him completely. Lena's heart races, but she forces herself to remain calm, rehearsing her lines in her mind. When she hears the familiar sound of his car pulling up, she takes a deep breath, slipping into the role of the oblivious girlfriend. She smiles as he walks in, his face lighting up as he sees her waiting for him. Hey, babe, he says, leaning in to kiss her. His touch feels foreign, revolting even, but Lena keeps her smile in place. Hey, love, she replies softly, handing him a glass of wine. I thought it'd be nice to have a quiet night together, just us. Adam smiles, clearly pleased, and takes a sip of the wine. This is a nice surprise. I needed this after a long day. Lena watches him, her heart pounding as she prepares to execute her plan. She waits until he's comfortable, lulled into a false sense of security. The perfect moment to strike. Adam, she says casually, swirling her own glass of wine. How well do you know the people you work with? Like, do you trust them? He frowns, caught off guard by the question. I guess so. Why do you ask? Oh, nothing. She shrugs, keeping her tone light. I just thought it was interesting, how people can lead double lives and fool those closest to them. Adam's face pales slightly, but he chuckles nervously. Well, some people are just good at hiding things, I suppose. Lena leans in, locking her gaze on his. Like you, maybe? For a split second, a flash of panic crosses his face before he quickly composes himself. What are you talking about? Lena's smile fades, her voice dropping to a whisper. I know everything, Adam. Everything. Adam freezes, the color draining from his face. Lena can see the wheels turning in his mind as he realizes that his carefully crafted web of lies is about to unravel. Adam sets his glass down slowly, his eyes narrowing as he studies her face. Lena feels a thrill run through her as she watches him squirm, his mind racing to find an escape. But there's no way out this time. She's caught him, and he knows it. Lena, he starts, his voice dripping with a fake calm. I don't know what you think you know, but you're being irrational. Am I? Lena replies, tilting her head, a sly smile creeping across her lips. Am I being irrational, or are you just terrified that your secrets are about to come crashing down? Adam's jaw tightens. You're making things up. You're always jumping to conclusions. This is why. Don't you dare gaslight me, Adam, she snaps, her voice rising. She can't hold back the anger anymore. I've seen the messages, the pictures. I know about Mia and Crystal. How long were you planning on keeping me in the dark? For the first time, Adam's smug facade cracks, and Lena sees a flash of something she hadn't expected, fear. He stares at her, his mouth opening and closing as he struggles to form a response. It's as if he's finally realizing the extent of his betrayal and how deep Lena's fury runs. It was just a mistake, he stammers. A stupid mistake. They meant nothing, Lena. Nothing compared to what we have. What we have. Lena scoffs, letting out a bitter laugh. Adam, you shattered everything we had the moment you thought it was okay to lie to me. To betray me. She watches him closely, waiting for an apology, some semblance of regret. But Adam's face hardens, and Lena realizes that he's not sorry. He's just sorry he got caught. You know what? Fine, he snaps. Maybe I made a mistake, but you don't need to act so high and mighty. Nobody's perfect, Lena. Not even you. Lena's eyes narrow, her voice dropping to a cold whisper. You're right, Adam. Nobody's perfect, but I never betrayed you. And unlike you, I'll make sure you feel every ounce of the pain you caused me. She grabs her phone, opening the app she downloaded earlier. With a single tap, she sends a group message to Mia, Crystal, and Adam, attaching screenshots of the conversations he had with both women. Consider this my goodbye, she says, her voice icy as she watches his face turn ghostly white, his phone lighting up with the incriminating messages. Adam's phone buzzes violently in his hand, lighting up with notification after notification. His face twists with shock and horror as he realizes what Lena has done. She stands there, arms crossed, watching him fall apart in real time, savoring every second of it. You sent this to them? He stammers, his voice barely more than a whisper. He looks up, desperation etched into his face. Lena, what did you do? Oh, I just thought it was time they knew the truth too, Lena replies calmly. I figured they deserved to know how easily you fooled them, the same way you fooled me. Adam's hands shake as he reads the furious responses from Mia and Crystal, each one hurling accusations and betrayal back at him. Lena can almost feel the walls closing in on him as he struggles to find a way out, a way to smooth things over. But there's nothing he can do. She's pulled the rug out from under him, and he's left scrambling in the mess he created. Lena, you don't understand, he says, his tone shifting to pleading. This doesn't have to end like this. We can fix this. I can fix this. I'll make it right, I promise. Make it right? Lena laughs, shaking her head in disbelief. Adam, you don't get it, do you? There's no coming back from this. I trusted you. I thought you were my future. But all you did was lie. She feels a surge of satisfaction watching him crumble, his charm and confidence completely stripped away. Adam, the man who always had an answer for everything, is left speechless. She takes a step toward him, her eyes hard as steel. You're done playing me, Adam. You're done playing all of us. Adam stares at her, a strange mix of anger and fear flickering across his face. You're overreacting, he says weakly, his voice lacking its usual conviction. You always do this, making things worse than they are. Lena's smile is cold, a glimmer of triumph in her eyes. Overreacting? You haven't even seen overreacting yet. But don't worry, you're about to. She turns on her heel and heads for the door, leaving him in stunned silence, his phone still buzzing with messages from his jilted lovers. This is only the beginning, and Lena knows exactly where to take things from here. As Lena steps out into the cool night air, a wave of relief washes over her. For the first time since discovering Adam's betrayal, she feels like she's finally taking back control. But there's more to do. She won't just walk away and leave him to pick up the pieces. No, Adam needs to know that she's done being the naive, trusting girlfriend he thought he could manipulate. Lena has one more plan up her sleeve. She drives across town to a place she knows all too well, a small, cozy cafe she and Adam used to frequent. It's past closing time, but she's not here for coffee. She pulls out her phone and scrolls through her contacts, stopping at a familiar name, Adam's boss. This is a last resort move, one she wouldn't have considered before. But Adam's arrogance, the way he refused to acknowledge his own guilt, has left her no choice. She taps on the number, her heart pounding as the phone rings. Hello? A voice answers, groggy and confused. Hi, this is Lena, Adam's girlfriend. Or I guess ex-girlfriend, I should say. She doesn't wait for his boss to respond before continuing. I just thought you should know about some extracurricular activities Adam has been engaging in. It's probably going to affect his focus at work, don't you think? There's a stunned silence on the other end, but Lena presses on, recounting just enough of Adam's indiscretions to plant a seed of doubt. She doesn't reveal everything, just enough to make his boss question whether Adam's personal life is spilling over into the professional realm. When she hangs up, she feels a mixture of satisfaction and anticipation. Adam prides himself on his career, on being seen as a rising star at the company. She's just tilted that pedestal, giving him a taste of the instability he so easily inflicted on her. Back in her car, she lets out a deep breath, her grip on the steering wheel finally relaxing. It's over. She's done with him, done with the lies, and done with being the one left to pick up the pieces. But as she pulls out of the parking lot, a realization hits her like a jolt. She feels nauseous. Suddenly, the satisfaction is replaced by a wave of anxiety. She's been so consumed with anger, with vengeance, that she'd ignored the signs, brushed off the warnings. And now, with the rage dissipating, she feels it again. The unmistakable queasiness that's been haunting her for weeks. Lena pulls over, her hands shaking as she processes what it could mean. The thought crosses her mind, terrifying and thrilling all at once. Could she be? Lena's hands tremble as she sits in the car, her mind reeling. She's been so focused on Adam, so driven by revenge, that she pushed aside the signs her own body was giving her. But now, with the anger settling and clarity seeping in, the truth seems undeniable. She forces herself to breathe, trying to calm the rapid pounding of her heart. There's only one way to know for sure. She drives to the nearest drugstore, the overhead fluorescent lights casting a harsh glow over the rows of products as she searches for the test aisle. Her hand hovers over the pregnancy test, her mind swirling with questions, fears, and doubts. By the time she's back in her apartment, she feels like she's running on autopilot. She locks herself in the bathroom, the small box in her hand feeling like a lead weight. She takes the test, setting it down and backing away, her heart racing as she waits for the longest few minutes of her life. When the results finally appear, Lena's breath catches in her throat. The word pregnant stares back at her, bold and undeniable. A rush of emotions, shock, fear, confusion, hits her all at once. This was never part of the plan. Never something she anticipated as she meticulously plotted her revenge against Adam. But here it is, a new reality crashing into her already chaotic life. For a moment, she feels completely lost, unsure of what to do next. A baby? After everything she's been through with Adam? She never wanted to raise a child alone, and the idea of sharing this with him feels tainted, given everything he's done. But even as the fear swirls inside her, she feels something else, a small glimmer of hope. A new beginning, perhaps, hidden within the storm of betrayal and heartbreak. She sits on the edge of her bed, the test still clutched in her hand, as she lets her mind wander to the possibilities. Maybe this is her chance to leave Adam's toxic presence behind entirely, to build something beautiful and fresh, something untouched by the lies he spun. But the question remains, does she tell him? And if she does, will he even care? Lena spends the night lying awake, her mind racing with the weight of her discovery. Every scenario plays out in her head, telling Adam, walking away, keeping the baby a secret. Each option feels like stepping off a cliff, with no certainty about what waits at the bottom. By dawn, she realizes that the only thing she can control is her own resolve. She's going to keep the baby, and she's going to do it her way, on her own terms. But as much as she tries to convince herself that she doesn't need to tell Adam, there's a small, nagging thought in the back of her mind. He has a right to know, doesn't he? No matter how much he's hurt her, this is his child too. If she doesn't tell him, she's no better than the secrets he kept from her. With a deep sigh, she grabs her phone, hesitating for a long moment before finally typing a message to Adam. "We need to talk. It's important. Can you come by later?" The reply is almost immediate, a simple, "Sure." For once, he doesn't add any charm or arrogance, and Lena feels a sense of dread settling in as the hours tick by. When Adam arrives that evening, he looks different. There's a cautious look in his eyes, a wariness that wasn't there before. Maybe he senses the gravity of the situation, or maybe he's still reeling from the aftermath of her messages to Mia and Crystal. "Lena," he says, his tone subdued as he steps inside. "You wanted to talk?" She nods, feeling a lump form in her throat. She doesn't know how to say it, how to break this kind of news to someone who's betrayed her in every way imaginable. But she knows she has to get it out, rip the bandage off. I'm pregnant, Adam." The words hang in the air, heavy and final. She watches his face, waiting for a reaction, any reaction. His eyes widen, and for a moment, he's speechless, staring at her as though trying to process what she just said. Finally, he takes a breath, running a hand through his hair. Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm sure," she replies, her voice steady. "I took the test last night. I wanted you to know because this changes everything, for me, at least." Adam swallows hard, nodding as he processes the news. She can see the conflict in his eyes, the gears turning in his mind as he considers what this means. Part of her wants him to be excited, supportive, to show some semblance of the man she once loved. But she can't shake the memory of the lies, the betrayal, and the hurt he's caused. "Lena, I know things have been complicated," he begins, his voice low, almost pleading, "but I want to be there for you. For the baby." She raises an eyebrow, crossing her arms. "Do you, Adam? Because I don't trust you. Not after everything you've done. I'm telling you because it's the right thing to do, not because I want you back in my life." He looks taken aback, his confidence faltering. "But we can make this work. For the baby. I know I messed up, but—" "No, Adam." She cuts him off, her voice firm. "You had your chance. You don't get to play the hero now." Adam opens his mouth as if to argue but stops, realizing the futility. He nods slowly, defeated, as Lena watches him, finally feeling a sense of closure. Adam sits down on the edge of the couch, his face a mix of emotions, confusion, regret, maybe even guilt. Lena stands across from him, arms crossed, steeling herself against the vulnerability creeping in. She wants this to be over, wants to take back control of her life without him dragging her down. "So, what now?" he asks quietly, looking up at her with pleading eyes. "Are you really planning on doing this alone?" "Yes," Lena replies without hesitation. I'm not saying you can't be part of the baby's life, but don't expect us to be some happy family. You lost that chance, Adam. Adam rubs his face with his hands, letting out a long sigh. You're punishing me, Lena. This is cruel. Lena feels a surge of anger rise within her. Cruel? The audacity in his words stings, and she's no longer willing to let him dictate how she should feel. Cruel? Are you serious, Adam? She takes a step closer, her voice steady but filled with restrained fury. You betrayed me, lied to me, and played games with my life. You don't get to lecture me on cruelty. He stares at her, looking like he wants to protest but knows he's in no position to argue. For the first time, Lena can see him exactly for what he is, a man used to getting his way, unprepared to face the consequences of his actions. I'm not trying to take anything from you, Adam. If you want to be part of the baby's life, fine, but I won't compromise my dignity or let you worm your way back into my life. The silence stretches, heavy and charged. Finally, Adam stands, looking down at her with a resigned expression. Fine. If that's what you want, I'll respect it. Lena nods, holding her ground as he moves toward the door. As he reaches for the handle, he pauses, glancing back at her. I'm sorry, Lena, he says softly, for everything. I really am. For a brief moment, she sees a glimmer of the man she once loved, but it's fleeting, a ghost of what was. She doesn't reply, just watches as he slips out the door, leaving her alone with her thoughts. With Adam gone, Lena feels an unexpected lightness. The apartment seems brighter, the air easier to breathe. She's free from the lies, the manipulations, and the heartbreak. And now, she has something worth fighting for, something beautiful and new, a life she can shape on her own terms. As she sinks onto the couch, a smile spreads across her face. She's finally ready to begin again. In the days that follow, Lena settles into a new rhythm, her mind and heart free of the weight Adam once imposed on her life. She feels an unfamiliar sense of peace. Her mornings are quieter, her evenings calm, and her thoughts are no longer consumed by suspicion or anger. She's beginning to focus on her future and, more importantly, the future of her baby. But as her life begins to fall into place, Adam becomes a ghost that haunts her periphery. A couple of texts, voicemails she doesn't bother to listen to. He's clearly trying to find a way back into her life, but she's set on keeping her boundaries firm. She ignores every message, every plea for conversation. She's done giving him her attention, her time, her energy. This baby is her focus now. Lena finds herself poring over baby books, planning her future, creating a new support system around her. She's grateful for her friend Sarah, who's been a rock through all of this. Sarah's disbelief at Adam's betrayal quickly turned to unwavering support, and now, she's the sister Lena never had. Are you nervous? Sarah asks one evening over dinner, her eyes warm with concern as Lena picks at her food. A little, Lena admits, setting her fork down. It's a big responsibility, but in a strange way, I feel stronger. Like, maybe all of this happened for a reason. Sarah smiles, reaching across the table to squeeze Lena's hand. You're going to be an amazing mom, Lena, and you know I'm here for you, every step of the way. The warmth of Sarah's support fills Lena with a renewed sense of purpose. She's beginning to believe in herself, to see a future brighter than anything she ever imagined with Adam. Her strength isn't just for her anymore. It's for her baby, for the life she's creating. One night, as she's looking over some baby clothes Sarah brought over, her phone buzzes with another message from Adam. She almost ignores it, but decides to read it this time. Lena, please. I just want to help. I know I messed up, but don't shut me out. Let's meet. She sighs, feeling a mix of exhaustion and impatience. Adam's attempts to reach her have been relentless, and part of her wonders if he's actually changed, if he genuinely wants to be involved. But the stronger part of her, the part that's been growing through each difficult day, knows she can't give in to his desperation. Taking a deep breath, Lena types a reply. Adam, I don't want to see you. If you want to be involved in our child's life, we'll discuss arrangements later. But don't contact me anymore unless it's about the baby. The message feels like the final nail in the coffin of their relationship. She sends it, blocking his number immediately after. She doesn't need any more of his pleas, his apologies. Her life is moving forward, and Adam is simply a chapter she's chosen to leave behind. As she sets the phone down, a calm settles over her. She's chosen her path, and this time, it's one she's walking entirely on her own terms. The next few weeks become a blur of small victories for Lena. She finally starts to feel like she's reclaiming her life, piecing together a future that looks nothing like what she'd imagined, but somehow feels right. Every day, she wakes up with a growing excitement for the life she's building. A life that's focused on positivity, resilience, and the little one she's carrying. Sarah is her constant companion, helping Lena with everything from nursery shopping to parenting classes. One afternoon, they're browsing through baby books at a local store when Sarah gives her a mischievous look. "So," Sarah begins, holding up a book with an elaborate title, "How to Raise a Perfect Child. What do you think? Are we aiming for perfect, or just trying to survive year one?" Lena laughs, rolling her eyes. "I think I'm aiming for happy and healthy, and hoping for the best. Perfection can wait." The two burst into laughter, and for the first time in months, Lena feels a true sense of joy, untainted by the pain of betrayal or the doubts about her future. She's finally learning to let go of the past, to embrace the life that's waiting for her. But not everything from her old life is so easy to shake. Word eventually reaches her that Adam has been seen around town, looking worse for wear, as if he's going through his own downward spiral. Part of Lena feels a pang of pity, wondering if he's finally feeling the consequences of his choices. But she quickly shakes it off. She refuses to let his self-destruction pull her back in. She's worked too hard to move forward to be dragged down by his drama. One evening, as she's organizing the baby clothes she and Sarah bought, Lena finds herself wondering about the kind of mother she'll be. The uncertainty, the enormity of the responsibility, it all weighs heavily on her. But then she feels a gentle flutter, a tiny movement inside her, a reminder that her child is right there with her, growing, strong, and resilient, just like she's learning to be. It's a beautiful, surreal moment, and she places a hand on her belly, feeling an overwhelming sense of connection. "It's just us now," she whispers softly, a smile spreading across her face. "You and me, kid. We're going to be just fine." The feeling fills her with a renewed sense of determination. This baby will have a life filled with love, honesty, and stability. She'll make sure of it, no matter what it takes. With each passing day, Lena becomes more certain of her path. She feels stronger, more capable, as she steps into her new role as a single mother-to-be. She surrounds herself with a support system. Sarah, her parents, even a few new friends from a local mom group she recently joined. It's a network of people who are rooting for her, who believe in her, and it's a stark contrast to the isolated life she'd led while entangled with Adam's lies. One day, as she's scrolling through social media, Lena notices a message request. It's from Mia. Her heart skips a beat as she contemplates opening it. Part of her wants to ignore it, to leave that chapter closed. But curiosity gets the best of her. "Hey, Lena," the message reads. "I just wanted to say thank you. I didn't realize what kind of person Adam was until everything came out. I'm sorry for what happened, truly. I hope you're doing well." Lena stares at the message, processing the unexpected sense of closure it brings. She never thought she'd hear from Mia again, and even though it's a simple message, it feels like the last lingering shadow of Adam's betrayal is finally lifting. She types a quick response, something polite and short, before setting her phone down. For the first time, she feels like she can truly move on, free from the bitterness and anger that once consumed her. She's left Adam's deception behind, and now, all that's left is her future. As her due date approaches, Lena channels all her energy into preparing for her child's arrival. She fills her days with nursery projects, doctor's appointments, and even finds herself practicing breathing exercises in a prenatal yoga class. Each step is a reminder of the life she's building, a life where she and her baby will thrive, no longer haunted by the past. One evening, as she's assembling a crib in the nursery, Sarah drops by with takeout and a warm smile. "You're really doing it, Lena," she says, looking around the room with admiration. "You're making a home. It's beautiful." Lena glances around the cozy nursery, the soft pastels, the stacks of baby books, the little clothes hanging in the closet. It's all so real now, and she feels a swell of pride in what she's created. "Thank you, Sarah," she says, a lump forming in her throat. "I couldn't have done any of this without you." Sarah laughs, pulling Lena into a tight hug. "You could have done it, Lena. You're stronger than you think." As they sit down to eat, Lena realizes just how far she's come. The broken woman she's been feels like a distant memory, and in her place is someone stronger, more resilient, ready to face the future with open arms. The weeks slip by, and Lena's life feels like it's finally settling into a new normal. The nursery is ready, her hospital bag packed, and she's surrounded by people who love and support her. The uncertainty she felt in those early days has faded, replaced by a calm strength, a quiet confidence that she's going to be okay. More than okay. As she moves through her days, preparing for her baby's arrival, she feels a deep sense of purpose she's never experienced before. She's creating a future filled with honesty, love, and stability. Everything she once thought she'd have with Adam, but that she's now building on her own. Then, one night, as she's lying in bed, a sharp pang radiates through her belly, followed by another. Her heart skips, and for a moment, panic seizes her. But then she breathes, grounding herself. It's time. Her baby is ready to meet the world. Sarah rushes over to take her to the hospital, and every mile of the drive brings a fresh wave of emotions. Anticipation, excitement, fear. But above all, Lena feels ready. As they reach the hospital, her heart is pounding, but she knows she's stepping into this new chapter with courage. Hours later, in the early dawn, Lena holds her newborn in her arms for the first time. Tears well in her eyes as she gazes down at her baby, overwhelmed by the purest love she's ever felt. This tiny, perfect person is hers, a part of her that she will cherish and protect with everything she has. She kisses her baby's forehead, whispering softly, "You're safe with me. I'll always be here for you. We're a team, you and me." In that moment, Lena knows that every hardship, every heartbreak, every step she took to get here was worth it. She has her own family now, and she's ready to give them a life filled with love and strength. As Sarah steps in, tears of joy in her eyes, she smiles at Lena, whispering, "You did it." Lena smiles back, holding her baby close. "Yes, I did," she says softly, a feeling of triumph swelling in her heart. She's finally free, free to love, free to live, and free to create a future that's hers and hers alone. Thanks for watching till the end. If you connected with this story, subscribe for more intense tales of love, betrayal, and transformation. Hit that like button, share this video, and join a community navigating their own relationship journeys. Let's bring light to these experiences. See you in the next one.